Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, my face, I realize, is a little dark because it's getting dark here. The sun sets here like at 9 o'clock at night, and it's about 7:30, so it's getting close to setting, and it sets on that side. Nice sunset looking over the mountains. So today we're going through the book of Numbers, and in this book of Numbers, like I said before, a lot of what not a lot, but there is a section of it here where it's kind of reviewing some of the stuff we talked about in Leviticus. And when we went through the book of Leviticus, we spent a lot of time really talking about that stuff in detail. So some of the stuff I'm not going to spend as much time with, because you can go back to the book of Leviticus and look at that if you want more details on it. This section here today, it's entitled Dedication of the Dedicated. Okay, and you're like, what kind of goofy, weird title is that? The Levites were the tribe that was put in charge, the tribe of Levi, and they were called Levites, were in charge of the ministry, really. Okay, God said, you can farm and everything else you want to do, but you're not given you're given a little bit of land, but not the land like the other tribes are given. You're given some cities and so forth. But your primary job is to take care of the tabernacle. That's your primary thing, all right? You can go and, live in the cities and stuff and make money and do when you're not working in the tabernacle. But the primary goal is to take care of the tabernacle. And so that's what the Levites did. So they were dedicated to the tabernacle and to the ministry of the Lord. That's what they were to do. So today what we're looking at is their dedication, their little ceremony they did. Not little, it was a huge ceremony. They did as a dedication to show they're dedicated to the Lord. Today we have similar ceremonies that we do, that you might call it the installation service or dedication service, all kinds of services we have to show those that are really dedicated to ministry. Because being dedicated to ministry, it's really your primary objective, okay? And then sometimes some of us are bivocational. We have another job that we do in addition to ministry through the church. So anyway, that's what the title is here today. So I want to read today. This is taken from Numbers chapter 8, and we're going to be reading verses 5 through 26 here. Okay? It says this: Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now set the Levites apart for the rest of the people of Israel, and make them ceremonially clean. Do this by sprinkling them with water of purification, and have them shave their entire body and wash their clothing. Then they will be ceremonially clean. Have them bring a young bull and a grain offering, and of choice flour moistened with the olive oil, along with the sacred young bull for a sin offering. Then assemble the whole community of Israel and present the Levites at the entrance of the tabernacle. When you present the Levites before the Lord, the people of Israel must lay their hands on them. Raising his hands, Aaron must then present the Levites to the Lord as a special offering from the people of Israel, thus dedicating them to the Lord's service." Okay? Again, this is just reiterating what we talked about in detail in the book of Leviticus. Verse 12: Next the Levites will lay their hands on the heads of the young bulls, present one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering to the Lord, to purify the Levites. Make them right with the Lord. Then have the Levites stand in front of Aaron and his sons, and raise your hands and present them as a special offering to the Lord. In this way you will set the Levites apart for the rest of the people of Israel, and the Levites will belong to me. After this they may go into the tabernacle to do their work, because you have purified them and presented them as a special offering. They're now presented. They can go do the work. Verse 16: Of all the people of Israel, the Levites are reserved for me. I have claimed them for myself in place of all the firstborn sons of the Israelites. I have taken the Levites as their substitute. For all the firstborn males among the people of Israel are mine, both the people and animals. I set them apart for myself on that day. I struck down all the firstborn sons of the Egyptians. Yes, I've claimed the Levites in place of the firstborn sons of Israel. And of all the Levites, I Israelites, I have assigned the Levites to Aaron and his sons, and they will serve in the tabernacle on behalf of the Israelites and make sacrifice to purify the people, so no plague will strike them when they are approaching the sanctuary. Now, this last paragraph that I read from verse 16 to what I just finished here, you're reading that and you're like, oh, I don't quite understand that. Well, go back to what here in Numbers, and there's the census. If you can go back to that episode where I talked about the census of the Levites. The Levites weren't really to be counted, but they were counted, and the reason they were counted is not for their military service at all. The rest of the tribes were all counted for that purpose and to organize them for the military service and for organization. But the Levites were not counted for that purpose. The Levites were counted as a substitute for the firstborn of all Israel. And you can see when you go back to that episode, they counted up the firstborn of all Israel, and then they counted up all the Levites, okay, between a certain age range. And when they got those numbers, they were pretty close, okay? And so that's how it worked out. They were a substitute for that. So that's what it's talking about here. All right, verse 20. So Moses and Aaron and the whole community of Israel dedicated the Levites carefully, following the Lord's instruction to Moses. The Levites purified themselves from sin and washed their clothes, and Aaron lifted them up and presented them to the Lord as a special offering. He then offered a sacrifice to purify them and to make them right with the Lord. After that, the Levites went into the tabernacle to perform their duties, assisting Aaron and his sons. So they carried out all the commands the Lord gave Moses concerning the Levites. The Lord also instructed Moses, this is the rule the Levites must follow. They must begin serving in the tabernacle at the age of 25, and they must retire at the age of 50. Okay, so you're only working as a Levite from the age of 25 to 50. You know, 25 years of service is what you have. After retirement, they may assist the fellow Levites by serving as guards at the tabernacle, but they must not officiate in the service. This is how you must assign the duties to the Levites. Okay, so get another drink here from Cookout Burgers. So that sums up. This sums up the whole dedication ceremony they had. I bring this all out to point out that this was a dedication ceremony of the people dedicated for ministry. All right. And today we have people dedicated for ministry. And those people dedicated for ministry have gone through a service. It might be just a simple service that was like a 15-minute part of another church service, or it might be an elaborate service. But each one of those services is important, and it shows the setting apart of those dedicated for ministry. So dedication of the dedicated. And when you're dedicated for ministry, it's showing you are dedicated for ministry. That's really one of your primary objectives. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through the book of Numbers. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.